What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today I've got some very exciting news. We've got some information about the second wave of the Transformers trading card game. Now, to be fair, we don't have much information, but we know a little bit. And we can make some predictions, we can figure some stuff out from this, and as far as I'm concerned, that is good enough for me for the time being. It was put on Facebook by, well, John Shawk, who does work for Wizards of the Coast, and he said, for everyone asking, and then there's a picture. And the release said, we've had lots of folks asking us about Wave 2, and while we won't be saying much until the new year, boo, we wanted to reward our amazing community with something really cool a little early. Here's a little sneak peek to whet your appetites and to say thank you for supporting the Transformers TCG with your incredible enthusiasm and positivity. We have some really cool, super exciting things cooking, and we're looking forward to blowing your mind soon. Obviously, as a side note, every time a new card gets revealed, it's going to be on this channel. Every time new information gets leaked, it's going to be on this channel. So if you're a fan of Transformers and you haven't subscribed yet, firstly, boo! And secondly, you can fix it. It's quite easy to fix. So we know that we got Wave 2 coming in 2019. The best news about this is Wave 2 is coming. And we kind of knew Wave 2 was coming, and there was a job listing a little while ago we looked at, which suggested there were going to be 3 to 4 sets a year. But we now know that Wave 2 is coming. And that's awesome. The game is not gone yet. Still no organized play. But as I've said to you guys in a number of videos, if we keep playing, and we keep going to our local game stores, and we keep buying cards, and we keep saying how great it is, and we keep spreading the good word of the Transformers TCG, organized play will happen. If we want it hard enough, and we do enough, it will happen. This also means that it's quite a distance between the first set and the second. So the first set came out in September, and let's say for argument's sake, the second set comes out January the 28th. That's October, November, December, January. That is 4 months. Okay. Now, to be fair, if there are 3 sets a year, and we've been told there are going to be 3 or 4 sets a year, we haven't been told, but the job advert basically told us. So that means that potentially 3 sets a year, 1 every 4 months. So then we'd have another set in May, and then another set in September, and then another set in January, and so on and so forth. But the thing to remember here is that trading card games, often there's a longer wait between the first and second set. They're looking at sales figures, they're trying to see how the game is made. Their general thing is more, let's push it, let's see how it's going, let's advertise it, before they get into a proper routine. I mean, Dragon Ball Super has still not got a particularly stable release schedule outside of the US yet. So that's nothing to worry about in that respect. It doesn't mean that we are getting 3 sets a year rather than 4, although it does potentially hint at that. Is it coming early in 2019? Well, yes, of course it is. They wouldn't tease it if it wasn't. You don't tease Wave 2 6 months before it's released. That's silly. Because you tease it, and then people get excited, and then it takes too long to arrive, and people get bored and stop caring. So clearly it's coming out a little bit sooner than that. My guess would be we're going to start hearing a lot about it in January, and we're going to see this set released in either late January or sometime in February. No guarantee, but that would be my guess. It is just a guess, but I think it's a fairly solid guess. Now, the wild card in this is other releases, because of course we need a release schedule. So we had set 1 and that was looking all good, and then about 6 weeks later we got the Metroplex deck, which basically it tided us over for a little bit. It gave us something new and exciting to talk about, and that was nice, and we enjoyed it, and we're like, yeah, Metroplex. And then just as the excitement for that starts dying down a little bit, oh look, now Wave 2 is coming. And then when the excitement starts dying down a little bit, probably after Christmas, because Christmas is a busy time, they're then going to start drip feeding us information for a late January or sometime in February release. I feel quite confident about that. So we know all of that. The only other thing we know is that Windblade is coming in set 2. Or I suppose to put it more pedantically, either Windblade is coming in set 2, or whoever made this image done goofed. So, what do we know about Windblade? Well, I went over to the Transformers wiki. This is where you go to get Transformers information generally. Windblade is a young Transformer who puts duty and truth first, even when both are difficult. Her friend and bodyguard Chromia, we've had a Chromia card, here it is, can get frustrated at times with the strength of Windblade's convictions, and Chromia believes Windblade trusts too much. This may not be a worldview that can survive sharing a planet with Starscream. We've had 2 Starscream, don't believe me, here they are. And she may learn that at times she will have to choose between truth or duty. Windblade is a better than average swordsman, but her claim to fame, and this is where it gets really exciting, is her rare talent for communicating with dormant titans, for which she bears the title of City Speaker. Now this is interesting to me, ladies and gentlemen. The only titan we've had released so far is Metroplex, although I'm just going to hope that no one out there is silly enough to think we're never getting another titan. No guarantee, obviously, but I think it's fair to assume that there is going to be some kind of mechanic here whereby this will interact with Titans. Whether this is giving a boost to Titans in the same way that 6-gun gives extra bold to Metroplex, maybe. Whether it's going to be healing them, whether it's going to be reviving them briefly, I don't know, but it cannot be a coincidence that we get our first Titan between Wave 1 and Wave 2, and then in Wave 2 we get a Transformer that is a City Speaker. That cannot be a coincidence. The other thing we know about Windblade is that she transforms into a jet. So it's going to be a plane. Now, we don't know too much about it, but this is really cool because, of course, as it stands at the moment, we've got Jetfire that is the only Autobot plane in the game. So the fact that we're now going to get a second Autobot plane, kind of cool. And we like plane decks. We've talked about planes a number of times on the channel, but planes have extra little tricks. I mean, they all have extra little tricks. So you're going to have the action card Bombing Run that moves damage from your planes to your opponent's Transformers, which is quite nice. And then we have the upgrade Aerial Recon, which is quite nice. It allows you to look at the top card of your deck when you attack or defend, and you can scrap it. If you're attacking, if it's not orange, you scrap it. If you're defending and it's not blue, you scrap it. Also, clearly in plane mode it's going to be ranged. We've not seen a melee plane. Why would we see a melee plane? That makes literally no sense to me. So it's definitely going to be a ranged character, which means you're going to be able to use Harmed Hovercraft, which is one of my favourite upgrades in the entire game. Now it gives you +1 attack, which is nice, but when you put it on a ranged character, you do 1 damage to each of your opponent's characters. And then, of course, we've got a couple of other planes which are quite nice at doing a little bit of what I like to call cheeky damage. When I say cheeky damage, I'm referring to any damage done other than your usual attacking. We've got Starscream Air Commander, which does damage to an enemy equal to the number of other planes you have. And we see Thundercracker, when you flip to this mode, do 2 damage to a melee enemy, which is quite nice. It's not too bad. What we really want is for this to be a 6 cost, because at the moment, plane decks basically have to play Skywarp if they want to go free wide in some circumstances, because Skywarp is the cheapest plane as a 6 cost. It would be quite nice if this was the same. And to be honest, that's what we know. We know it's coming out in 2019. We know that this says a lot of good things for the health of the game. It gives us a rough time scale. But the fact that we get one set in September and another one probably in January or February is good to me. I do believe this will be out by the end of February, though that is just conjecture on my part. And we know that Windblade is coming, so I thought we should, have a bit of a chat about what Windblade is likely to do. So we did. I am delighted by this news, ladies and gentlemen. I am incredibly excited about this news. I love this game. I want Wave 2, I want Wave 3, I want Wave 4. I think I've made that quite clear. And I am delighted that progress is being made. But now it's time for you guys to tell me how excited you are about this. So go nuts in the comment section, but please do remember the rule. Be nice, would ya? And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, and follow me on Twitter at the Wossy, where I talk about a bunch of stuff, and yes, Transformers is included. But by far the most important thing, as always, is to look after yourselves. Until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wossy Plays.